Tell us a bit about Sequoia.
Sequoia is a global venture capital firm. We started in the US in the early 70s, and we now invest across China, US, India, Southeast Asia, and most recently Middle East and Europe as well. So we kind of say we follow the digital journey of a country. When we came here, we wanted to be an early part of that journey with several founders in the region. So far we have 4 investments, but we think the ingredients are in place and hopefully several years of growth ahead.
So GV, how do you see the startup ecosystem in this part of the world?
I think for having a vibrant startup ecosystem, you need founders, and generally for the tech ecosystem, you need obviously technical talent and technical founders to come through. So I see early signs of that. And obviously, this is not a market so far that's produced a large number of engineers and so on. So that's one of the things to watch out for and solve for. In this region, it looks like in the last 5-6 years, the capital availability for angel rounds, seed rounds has gone up a lot, and then there are few VC funds that are in the market. So once you've done your Series A's or seed rounds, etc., when it comes to growth capital, and you want to raise $20 million, $30 million, we find that that there are not lots of options in this market right now. And growth capital usually happens to come from global sources, either crossover funds or large growth funds that are there in the Western world, etc. They enter a market when it gets exciting, when they can see companies of scale getting built. I think what we need more of are examples of successes. So the way this works usually is you usually have 1 or 2 companies that break out and create this aspiration amongst others to say, let's also start, because you do need to see companies that have been there, done that successfully for others to say they will also start.
The ecosystem here was always government-backed funds, smaller local independent funds. You have family-owned businesses that launch their own fund. Then comes Sequoia into the market. How do the behind-the-scenes dynamics work with these types of funds?
There's lots of capital available in this market, but so far, a lot of this capital has been looking westward. I think increasingly there's an appreciation that this capital can come into developing markets and more importantly to the local markets as well. We've been very fortunate that we found when we came here, there's just a lot of love and acceptance of Sequoia in the market. So far, it's been a very, very positive dynamic.
What's happening right now in terms of VC flows? How do you see it happening globally versus here?
There's a shift in how companies are trying to now navigate from growth at any cost to now trying to find profitable journeys in their own markets. This is globally true, much more true in the US where immediate impact was felt. We will expect to see that in the Middle East as well, although right now Middle East is having a really good time in terms of where oil prices are, and hence there's a lot of optimism. But the world is super interconnected, so we'll start seeing some of the impact here as well. So everybody, including the founders and investors, are adapting to this new reality.
So in this environment, what would you like to see in companies that you invest in and in founders that you?
It's really about the long term. Now founders are also at a point where they understand that you have to build more sustainable businesses with good unit economics and so on. So the conversation has changed a lot, but the core remains the same. You look for great markets and good founders and differentiated value prop that allows you to build an enduring business over time.
Fintech was the largest pool of capital deployed across the region for the last 4 or 5 years. How do you see that shifting? So what are the new sectors you're looking into exploring?
So one of the big themes in the last several years has been financial services and fintech. But as I look at the next few years, I think we are likely to see more things around commerce develop more. And when e-commerce grows, a lot of enabling industries grow. The logistics industry grows, the payment industry grows. So we expect to see some companies come from those markets. So far we've thought about building regional companies, but hopefully there'll be a set of companies that uniquely solve challenges here, which then can be exported to possibly Europe and other markets. So we are hoping to see some companies come in those spaces as well.
10, 15 years ago, here the disruptors were more like copycats, if you will, of global businesses. Do you see the shift now to unique technologies or approaches that could be replicated in other emerging markets and beyond?
So when we started in the venture business many years ago in India, the question people would ask is, okay, you met this company, what is the US company?
Yes.
Which this company is trying to be, right? We now ask the question saying, look, what is the unique insight for the market and why should a company of this type exist in this market? And if you exist for that market, is the problem large enough that you can build a large company? So over a period of time, we think we will see uniquely local companies solving for MENA, for the problems and opportunities that exist here.
And what's your advice for aspiring founders from the region and globally?
When people constrain themselves to thinking about, okay, I'm solving this for my country, you're probably not thinking, ambitious enough. But at the same time, we always advise founders to say, pick a niche or a pain point and then, have a very sharply defined solution for that and hope that, with that success, you open up a much larger opportunity. I think right now, if you're in your 20s or 30s or 40s, no better place than being in a region like MENA or India, Southeast Asia, which are all developing economies. So I think we've all won the ovarian lottery to be where we are. So make the most of it.
GV, something Nobody knows about you.
I'm a father of a 16-year-old teenager, and he's on his own startup journey. So it's exciting that a VC has a startup founder inside the building. So it creates interesting dynamics.
So you've given him the
excited.
cheat sheet already on
Well,
how to raise
I
funding.
don't know. You know, one of the things he wants to be known for is an independent, founder and not be the son of a VC. So he's very careful about that and how. And when he talks about interactions with VCs and why that person is not okay, and I understand the empathy that VCs need to have towards founders. So
Better than ever
exciting.
now.
Yes, absolutely.
That means we won the first ticket access to the US.
Exactly. Thank you very much, GV. Great to have you.
Thanks a lot, JV.